What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another installment of Kicking It with Danny. And this time I'm doing another Kicking It with, I still don't know what to call it, Kicking It with others? No, other people kicking it with me, like I did with Austin and his bad opinions. But today I got some friends of mine. Um, yeah, this is the group we started traveling with. Our first trip, I think we did Tallulah Gorge together. That was a struggle.
Yes.
And after that, we went on like all over Georgia doing other hikes up to Helen, um, mostly Helen, North Georgia. They had all the good spots. But then we started traveling. We went, we did Arizona, we did Tokyo, we did Vietnam, and this is the group I started with. I have Teresa, known her since like middle school, probably the oldest friend that I know at the moment, probably. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I have Vin. He joined the group, brought in his quirkiness along with, you know, making plans. That's how we start getting these adventures underway. And it was us three who started it off. And
Yep,
yeah, we had some fun times out there. So
those were the
what's
days.
what's
Those were days.
what 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 were some of your favorites? Or if y'all want to take a trip down memory lane or whatever, because I still remember the Tallulah Gorge days. That was the start, and we were not in shape.
Wait, was that the one where Ben took a shit in the woods?
No,
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 Wait,
no,
was that the
no.
cuss?
That was
Yeah,
Cloudland's
you can
day.
curse. We
Okay.
can curse in here. That was that was a
No, that
different
was
hike. We had a
no,
bigger
that
crew
was
then.
I definitely needed a shit. It was one of those where like because we had to hike down like all the way down
Yeah,
to
we went
like
to the
halfway through.
floor and we couldn't even get to the floor because it was
It was long.
closed because it rained or
Yeah.
some junk. That was that day this man took my sandwich. Because I remember I came prepared for this hike. Was like, first big hike. I'd never been here. Let me make some PB and J's. I did that. This man was like, I don't think we need to eat. We get halfway up the 1,000
He
stairs.
started dying.
This man was fainting. I had to give up my sandwich.
No, wait, that's not what really happened. Remember, because like I brought like that big loaf of sandwich, like all the bread, and then I also had like the cheese and then the ham, and then
Not,
it melted in the
not
backpack. Because then Teresa's like, I don't want no melted cheese ham sandwich in the fucking backpack. So
was
then
that?
I,
I don't
so
think
then
that
I
was the
ended up
first
eating
one
a
though.
peanut butter sandwich.
I thought
Are
that
you sure
wasn't the
that
first
was?
one because you didn't have no food and I had to give you my PB and
Yeah, it
J.
was like the very beginning. You're just like, yeah, we don't need any foods, whatever. We're
Oh,
just gonna
okay.
be on a quick hike.
I guess it was
Cause
like another hike.
yeah, cause
I
after
think it was
that,
like
Yeah,
the second Tallulah one where I brought like the
because I remember the
the
melted
ham and
sandwich
cheese.
thing. I
yeah,
ended
Yeah, I
up
was like, I
eating one
remember that,
anyway.
but I think that was probably like on another Tallulah Gorge.
I
But
think
yeah,
that
it was.
was the second hike because after that one, then the next time you came prepared with like hella sandwiches, but then it was hot, so
It was a little too prepared. I was a little too prepared.
hey, but it was a good time, man.
It was a good time.
Those were good moments, good hikes. Like just the small trips, the car rides there used to be fun. Everything used to be a joy, and now we stuck at home. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like when do you guys think like traveling would be, I guess, somewhat normal? I don't think we're gonna get to normal, but somewhat like normal because we're
You
supposed to
talking
be in
about like in
Japan.
state or like in general?
Like in general,
Because I
because
was gonna say like
in state
I
is
know.
still pretty doable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think we're like a year off, maybe 2 years, because like it's gonna take at least like a year to even find a vaccine. It's gonna be everything's gonna be dependent on when we're gonna find like a vaccine for COVID-19. But then after that, you still have like people who have to test it, have to manufacture it, and then you have to give it time for when like it reaches the rest of the world. So I want to say like we're probably like a year and a half to 2 years off, to be honest.
And I think that's more for the global because like how we were supposed to be going to Japan in like 2 months. Like I think it's gonna be a while before other people accept us
Yeah, because
because
like
Oh yeah.
we're some
it's
head
mostly like
asses.
Americans.
Because Americans are some head asses, so there's gonna be a while before they accept us. But I guess we can. In state is still doable with some risk. I'm
Yeah,
not too keen on the plane rides with that recycled air just going through out there. But once you get to your destinations, it's like we here. We can still do.
Well, from my
something.
experience, because I went to Seattle just last month. Like honestly, though, after like I just came back from going to Helen, hiking in Helen, like just this past weekend, and I trust going on an airplane to Seattle much more than like being in like Helen or something. Because like you get like when we were on the airplane, they had like from the beginning when you first walk into the airport all the way until we get onto the airplane, there was a lot of like steps and procedures and like things in the way to make sure like nobody has this. Like we got test like they tested us like at least 2 or 3 times. When you're on the airplane, like literally the moment someone coughs, you have like the airplane the hostess, I forgot their name right now, the stewardess or whatever.
Yeah,
Like they
stewardess.
immediately like walk up to you and they're like, "Can you stop coughing?" And like if you start coughing too much, then it becomes like an issue and they start like pulling you off to the side. So like everything is sanitized. They absolutely enforce that 6 feet away. Like not even like put some distance between us. There's like places where you have to stand. They only allow like certain amount of people through like security at a time. Like honestly though, it was like I felt pretty safe being on there. And this was like even with this lady that was sitting behind us, and she was like straight up coughing on Karen the whole time. Like I'm talking about like
Oh,
hard
coughing
coughing.
on. All right,
Yeah,
I would have. She
she
would
was
have had
like
to get this conversation going.
and
Like,
like
yo, we could throw people off the plane.
Exactly.
we had to call like a flight attendant, and she was like she had to talk to the lady. She's like you gotta wear a mask on. Also, you have to wear a mask
Wait,
on.
she out here coughing with no mask?
Yeah, she had no mask on. They had to make her wear a mask, and also they enforced like the mask rule 24/7. Like if there's always like attendants walking around, and if you don't have a mask on, they'll literally tell you to put it on. Like I fell asleep with my mask on, and then it fell off, and they literally woke me up to be like, "Hey, put your mask on." So they're like a lot more safe. When I went to Helen, like literally nobody wore a mask because it's in that part of the.
Because it's fucking Georgia. I mean, it's Georgia.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of them are like we're anti-mask or whatever. There was literally like a busload of people, and it was just only like me and my group wearing masks, and it was just really, really, really like, I was like really anxious the whole time because I'm like, yo, these people not only don't wear masks, they're against wearing masks.
Yeah, against
So
it.
that's why I'm like, I'd rather be on an airplane because it just feels a lot more safe, a lot more rules, a lot more regulation. Because it's the fact that the airplane industry knows that they're like one of the most affected of the virus. They're taking extra steps to make sure like they're not gonna like get in trouble.
They're gonna have to do the extra mile to get back at like
exactly.
in rotation. But
I'm surprised they didn't kick that lady off
you
They-
feel me?
they-
for doing
like-
that.
I think they at least give you a warning. They're gonna be like, "Can you like, stop coughing, cover your mouth, wear your mask and stuff." But if you just keep doing it and you just can't like stop yourself,
wait till she go to
they'll,
the bathroom
they'll,
and
like,
lock
take
it.
you off. If you're already like, I don't know the procedures of what happened if you're like coughing nonstop on the airplane once it takes
Hands? That should be the procedure. Like, yo, you need to go to sleep, man.
Yeah, all I know is like traveling right now, it's not as bad. I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather trust traveling than doing some other stuff. Like I feel more safe in an airplane than going to like a barber shop or going to the gym or something.
Yeah, I have been having, because we've been here so long. I've been having that itch or urge to want to travel again because we like I said, I was really looking forward to Japan, and because the first time, we ain't do it.
We did too much.
Yeah, we didn't do it justice. We had a good time, but a lot went wrong with Japan. So I mean, you guys don't know about Japan. So when we was in Japan, we went there super excited. It's like every nerd's dream to go to Japan and just enjoy yourself, to see all those things you see on TV or whatever you're expecting. And we did. For the most part, Japan was really dope. Osaka had that dope ramen when we first arrived, the one that Henry was working at. And like,
I remember Henry.
So the boy our friend Ant was like dying.
Oh man, when we first got off the plane, Ant was not feeling good. He was just like, "Man, I got a headache." He's over here carrying like 3 luggages with him.
This man had COVID-19 before COVID-19 was
pretty much.
He was like bedridden. But the thing was like, I'm pretty sure we thought it was like heat stroke because we went to Japan off the back of like Vietnam, and like he was just wearing like fully clothed in like
Yeah.
90 to 100
Right.
degree heat.
It was hot as shit, and this
Because
man's
he
out
didn't want
here
to get bit by
in a
mosquitoes.
full 3-piece suit with a bucket hat on. No, I'm like, bruh, I know you feel this heat. He say, no, I don't want to get bit by mosquitoes. Last time they paralyzed me.
He was pretty much out. He was like pretty much down for the count for the first 2 days. That man was literally just bedridden while we went to like
He got to
Dotonbori.
Osaka and was done. We was like, all right.
Bro, I thought he died. Yeah, I was like, bro, we're in Japan. This man's gonna die.
Girl, he
He was
put
like,
him
"Hey,
in
you
his
can't
bed
die."
and like close that little curtain on his bed. And like,
He just
we come back later. Come back, this man look half naked. Like, you okay, bro?
But I mean, like speaking of Japan, that is still my favorite trip that we've done. Mostly
Yeah.
because like it's always been a dream country of mine to go to. It's a lot of people's dream country, and it was because of the Japan trip that we started traveling in the first place. Because like we wanted to, we had like 2 years to save up for Japan.
Yeah.
And
Well-
honestly, though, we all started hanging out together because we started going to cons.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
it
say
was
it
kinda
was
like
the cons because we did cons and then we did the local hikes
Yeah.
because the con days used to be fun too. And
Yeah, that was
then
pretty
we
dope.
actually started like, yo, Japan, it's a possibility. You know, we got jobs. So
save up money for this.
We wanted to like hike Mount Fuji, so it's like, well, before Mount Fuji, we should start doing these other hikes and these other adventures and trying out these other foods and stuff too.
yeah, Fuji never happened though. And I looking back, I think that was for the best because, whew,
I was,
Yeah.
I mean, I was disappointed that we couldn't do Fuji, but at the same time, like
it was for
like,
the best.
it was for the best. Everybody was like tired. We didn't know what we were up to. We had like a lot of things crammed in 2 weeks because we thought 2 weeks was enough, but
Yeah.
And we were
No, like-
poorly prepared too.
Yeah,
poorly
be-
prepared. I
because
mean, I
with-
lost like $800. I lost like half of my belongings and everything.
Man, we lost like 600 before we even left because we was like, hey, Karen, I saw you. Because we were like, yo, we can make it to this flight. Yeah, your boarding time's done.
It's like we're an hour ahead. They're just like, yeah, we already closed the luggage. We're just like, but we're still an hour ahead. It's like, no, they don't do that for international. I'm just like, oh my
Yeah, had to pay that extra 600 for the next day. And that was
god.
I didn't know to be there that early. That was legit my first flight. Cause I was always like, if I ain't gotta take an airplane, I don't want to. I don't really
Yeah.
care to. So that happened. I was like, oh damn, I don't know if I got an extra 600. This trip's starting on a negative already.
Yeah.
We didn't even leave.
I know.
It was like a lot of-
I was like, damn, this is expensive. This trip expensive.
It was like a huge learning experience because like I learned that you don't want to be over prepared, overpacked because I lost all my stuff.
Yeah, you had
You
like
guys
3
You
bags.
had to come earlier.
But you split everything into that 3 bags too.
Yeah, because like I have really bad memories, right? So like I was like traveling with literally just like a little sling bag for like days, like 2 or 3 days before we started heading back to Tokyo. So like once I started like wearing all of my other stuff on, I kind of forgot that I had more than just my sling bag, and it kind of just stayed on the train. And then that train it just took off. And then by the time I realized it was maybe like 30 minutes later when we were like eating a pizza or something. I think we were like eating pizza at the Osaka station, and
We
then
ate pizza?
yeah,
We only
we had
ate pizza at the hostel.
No, we also
Yeah.
had like we at the Osaka station. They also had that small little cafe because I remember I think Danny got like a blood orange drink or something like that.
I did
And
try blood orange drink.
Oh,
Yeah, and I had like the little the fancy margarita pizza or whatever. And that's when I
Okay.
realized I was like, yo, where's like all of my luggages? Like I was like, oh shit, it was like in the train station or something, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, our first trip took a lot of L's. You
yeah.
lost that.
Yeah.
Aunt started off dead.
I also got pretty bad. I wore like these running shoes that were like 8 years old, so my
Yeah.
feet were dying. So
don't
I
know
died.
how you were
the
going to
second
do
day.
the mountain with that. That was, ooh, I got lucky.
Yeah,
I
'cause,
had
like,
a good time.
yeah, and then like we didn't get to fully experience Dotonbori because we thought like you know people our age that shit would be popping at
Yeah.
like 10 p.m. But by the time we come to 10 p.m., all you see is like foreigners trying to hit up like
Yeah,
local
it was so
girls,
late.
and everybody else is just closing shop. And I'm like, well,
Exactly.
Hey, that game was working though. It was these two foreign dudes hitting up on these two Japanese girls, and it was just like, yeah, we got a hotel, and they was laughing it up. I see him. I was like, all right. Luckily, Ichiran was still open, so that worked.
And Ichiran ruined ramen for me. Like dead ass. After Ichiran, I have not had ramen like that in America. It's different. That shit hit different.
Until we went to the Ichiran in New York, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's because that was a redemption trip. The first Ichiran, we were just like, oh, let's be safer in a new place. Let's tone it down a little bit. Worst shit ever.
Nah, that was redemption for you.
I hit mine with the
suck.
I was like, yo, double up on the flavor.
Yes.
So give me all the works. Put that extra chashu in there. You know what it is. Boom. My stuff is still good.
Like, I want less flavor. I'm like, why do you want less flavor?
Out here telling son, give me the diet ramen, please.
Yeah, you did get that diet ramen.
I want that ramen light, please. Like, well, get out of here. It was. Other than that, in Japan, I also did enjoy like just being able to walk around and
yes,
like because not a lot of places where you go travel where we could just walk around
everywhere. Yeah,
have a good time. Like we just stopped places and walked, and like we ended
and
up
not
at
be
temples.
scared we were gonna get shanked.
Yeah, even though we walked home from like the what was that, the Japan tree place?
No, it was Dotonbori. No, yeah, it was.
No, after the Sky Tree, remember we decided we're gonna
like walk home. It was just cool. Walk by that little anime bridge, and it was cool. And the other night we was chilling in the man, come on! I gotta edit that. I forgot I didn't work.
See it cut right there.
But that one night we were chilling with like all the foreign people in the was that the hostel?
Yeah.
Also, hostels are only like visuals I had of hostels were from those movies, and I was like, those look like ass. So I was glad that these hostels are dope.
Yeah,
you actually meet a lot of people, and like we were chilling there, we're like meeting people, go get some beers. Me and Teresa walked to the what was that, Domino's.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a good time in Japan. I was looking forward to this return trip.
I was too,
actually.
Especially with Patty in there, I was trying to get them cultured out here. They don't be traveling nowhere, so I thought it'd be fun. We had a bigger group going this time, so we needed that redemption. And my stamp pass I got the stamp book. I need more stamps. We had to go to more temples.
Yeah, we do. I forgot about that too. I have it right on my bookshelf.
Yeah, mine's it's somewhere up there.
I'll get a stamp for next time.
On my shelf, it's somewhere up there.
I'll get a stamp pass for next time.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get it last time because
I think you were like worried about the train.
Yeah, I was more worried about like like for I won't say half the trip, but like for like a couple of days of the trip, like 3 or 4 days, I was much more stressed about like losing my stuff. And I got on like since we had the JR pass, which is a great deal, by the way.
Great investment.
100%.
I just literally bounced between Tokyo and Osaka, which was like a 3-hour train ride. And I was just like, I kept going from Tokyo, Osaka, looking around, asking people for help, bouncing back to back to Tokyo, and then the next day I'll be back. And at some point, I just gave up. I took the L, and I asked Ant for like money because Ant was swimming.
That way, pimp Ant.
That man was swimming. I ended up paying him back too by Dragon Con of that year.
Yeah, we all paid him back. He helped us out.
But Ant was MVP. He definitely saved that trip because without his money, like I would have just been broke. Like we would have been eating at that $3 rice place. Like
that place
we wouldn't even be in Japan. Man.
You guys wouldn't even be.
We'd be in America.
Hey, but dead ass though, those 2 days where since you guys missed Japan and I had to like go to Japan and be by myself for 2 days, it was actually kind of cool. It was just me in this big city by myself. I got lost. I don't know if I told you guys the story, but like when I first landed there, like I got hella lost. Like I didn't speak a lick of Japanese. I couldn't read Japanese. The people around me couldn't help me. I had like my phone battery was dead because for some reason I have a bad habit of not charging my phone.
Yeah, and being on Reddit all day.
And like I could not
all day.
I could not like locate my fucking hostel because like, well, it wasn't a hostel. I actually got a capsule hotel, and that's because it was like literally wedged between like these big ass pachinko parlors and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't like, I wandered like 5 or 6 hours just looking for my my hostel, and the only reason I found it is because I ran into like a foreigner couple, and the guy spoke enough English for me to be like, can you Google map me can you Google map me my capsule hotel? And he's like, yeah, bro, it's like 2 minutes away. I was like, oh shit. I was literally wandering around the circle, like literally around my capsule hotel for like 5 hours, and it was like the whole time like 10 minutes away from me.
Bro, capsule hotels are so fun.
It is.
For you,
yeah, because you had to buy
had to
yourself.
jump by yourself.
I had like old people dick and shit in my face the whole time, and I'm like,
it's because you guys, you know, capsule hotels are for men or whatever. I mean, I was kind of scared being down there by myself because it was like small, a little dark, and I was just like, is shit haunted?
It was a little, you know, a little eerie, but like for us, like the showers are dope. Like you just get used to being naked around a whole bunch of strangers, but they're strangers, you're not gonna see them again.
Strangers,
so like the showers were dope. It was when we were trying to sleep, cause your boy Ant, I know you gonna watch this, Ant, but your boy Ant was out here doing the most. Like it was like, all right, we ball up in this capsule. Ant ain't do nothing this whole time. He just chilling. Get up in the capsule. I think it was like almost 1 something, time to sleep. Next thing you know, Ant decided to organize his whole bag. You start hearing this. I'm like, yo. I was like, yo, Ant, what? It's late. Everyone trying to sleep. You kind of loud. Okay. And you know, like over there, everyone's pretty nice, so no one wanted to say nothing. So
yeah,
it's like, God damn it, Ant.
Remember that other fiasco we had at that capsule hotel where it was like, I think it was the first hotel, capsule hotel we had. Yeah, it was that same one where I guess everybody got, you know, prepared and whatever. We met down at the lobby. And then, like, you and me, Danny, we were just chilling there.
Oh,
and Vin decided, you know, he'd come down in his new little robe.
This man was early on the OnlyFans content. We didn't even want the trial.
I don't know why, but you said, like, back in tradition, you're not supposed to wear underwear under this. And I was like, okay.
You sat See, I had, like, my balls out and everything. That's all right.
You did not have to. Okay, first of all, your legs were crossed enough to where I just saw, like, your pubic triangle. And then I was just, like, looking. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Just pubic hair.
I was like,
hey, you know what, though? Be glad that that's all you guys saw, because, like, dead ass, though, like, speaking about Ant, like, okay, I have this thing where I slept, like, nude, right? And we were in Japan during the summer. That shit was blazing.
Yeah,
and it was even if it was like at 1 a.m., that shit was hot as fuck in the hostel. And I was like literally right underneath the vent with the AC, but it was still hot. So I was like, I'm gonna sleep naked. And like in the hostels, we have like bunk beds. So you have like, Ann was like below me. I was like on the top bunk. But like this man likes going into people's like privacy, invading people's like space or something. Cause I'd be sleep naked as fuck with like my blinds up, but he'd literally just like peek into my blind while I'm like sleeping. I'm like, Ann, one day you're gonna peek in and you're gonna see some shit you don't want to see.
like in Vietnam when y'all boys was cuddling on the floor.
No,
y'all was doing some sus stuff out there, bro.
I was not cuddling. All right, look,
bro, you got
Henry and Faye.
He was like
all giggling in the morning, right?
And Henry like to my left, and I was in the middle. And like literally, they kept like turning over and looking at me and laughing. And I'm like, yo, I keep like turn to the left. Well, this man Henry like a little bit too close, like right next to my face, laughing. And then he's like giggling like on the other side. So I had to do like this awkward like just lay like straight up.
From my review, because like everyone hit that wake up where we up, but we ain't getting up. We just like, I'm up, but I'm gonna lay here, and y'all look like y'all was in a 3-man spoon. Then all I hear down there is giggling and feel like stop. Like,
bro, y'all were rustling blankets, all right? You were just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
What the fuck? What did he do?
That was because I was trying to turn. I was trying to find this angle where I wasn't looking at Fee or looking at Henry, and I'm like,
that trip, the Vietnam trip, was actually surprisingly, I don't say that. I say that because I didn't know what to expect from Vietnam. All we got were like, watch out for this, watch out for that, watch out for this. So it's just a bunch of warnings before we went, and like it's actually surprising, really fun. Like that first Vietnam trip was super fun to me because it was like completely different, like culture and everything. The streets are super busy. Then we get here and it was just dope. You could just walk down the street, get some food. They were taking us everywhere. It was.
Yeah, I was pretty happy that you went because like one, I've never had like an American or like a non-Asian friend go to Vietnam. Yeah. And I mean like that was the summer that we graduated. So my family in Vietnam wanted to see me
yeah, you
come over with all of my graduation stuff. And then I was like, yo, why don't you guys come for like a week? And Danny was already like quitting his job anyways. So he's like, yeah, sure. 3 weeks of vacation. And that was like a really fun 3 weeks.
It was.
It was.
You know, that was the first time I ever traveled with like friends in general, like overseas. Because overseas, you know, you usually go with your family or whatever, and that's about it. That's the first time where it's just us to do whatever we want to do. And that was.
Yeah, I can see why, because when you got to go overseas, you got to be prepared. You got to have your passport on ready. You got to have your room and board on ready. It's not like just going to Florida and be like, dang, well, there's a hotel right there, you know.
The last minute, you know.
Yeah, it was fun. That's why I think people should, you know, get out and experience other cultures, because I wasn't expecting it, and I fully enjoyed myself, and I was.
Yeah,
it's dope.
I think like with culture shock, you either like it depends on who you are, but some people don't take culture shock too well, and they get like really homesick. But there's other people who take culture shock and they really enjoy like being out of their element. And I think like we're all the second type where we're like being in a different new location makes it fun and exciting because it's like you don't know what to expect, you don't know what to feel. You're just down to just like try new shit and be like, yeah, maybe I like it, maybe I won't. But most of the time you'll enjoy it. Like new cultures and new experiences are always fun.
That's why everything feels just like when you do that, it was just really cool. That's why I was looking forward to going back to Japan. I was looking forward to hitting up like Thailand within the next 2 years. Still want to go to Hawaii, even though it's part of the States. It seems so different and so distant that I wanted to go to Hawaii still, because everything's just, you know, you said, a switch up. Like it was even cool going to Arizona. Like
yeah, it was. Like
Arizona, it was hot as shit, but it was like cool. Like it's just a different environment to be in. You know?
Yeah. Like
except for that one town. That one town was boring.
I know.
Oh yeah, the one right before the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well,
the security guard just walked around that McDonald's for like.
You had security guards just doing laps, kicking rocks around McDonald's. That's how boring it was.
It was like a Navajo land reservation or something. You could tell, like, you know, they needed more stuff to do in that place. There was
you could tell it was like a small town. Everybody knew each other. You could walk to every store across the street.
Honestly though, like people should just travel in general, even if it's within the United States. Like Arizona is a different vibe than Georgia. Like you trade forest and humidity for dry heat and the desert. And you know, like it was like the first time all of us was like driving through the deserts in our car, and like driving through the desert is really weird, really different. Like it's like
really boring when everybody in your car go to sleep and you gotta drive 3 hours through this red heat. Everyone sleep. Ain't no signal. All I got downloaded is Post Malone. So, you know, he goes on strings of just like mellow music, and I'm just like, it's true. like, it was a struggle. My eyes were,
I try to stay awake for you, Daddy.
Teresa's like, I'll stay up. She was supposed to drive after Grand Canyon. She made it just to the bottom of the canyon. It was like, I'm tired.
That was an hour, right?
No. We literally left the canyon, got to the bottom where we get gas, and had to switch drivers. I'm like,
oh, I know. It was like a 20-minute drive. That shit was funny.
That felt like an hour, Daddy. I'm sorry.
I mean, it did after that hike. I felt, I thought they were going to die in the hike. I thought Vin did die on the hike.
Grand Canyon is still it's the best, but it's also the toughest hike that I've been to, and that's after like hiking in Seattle, which is a beautiful place to hike in. Like Grand Canyon, it's like a whole different tier of difficulty of like the type of shit that you see in there, but it's definitely worth it. Like if you guys ever like wanted to, like whoever's watching, if you guys want to like just travel to Arizona just to see the Grand Canyon, I mean it's like one of the 7 wonders of the world for a reason. It's an amazing place. Just don't make our mistake. Like I personally was not physically ready to go all the way down to Skeleton Point, but we did anyway. Like I brought like 11 bottles of water, and I was like I thought I was over prepared.
Man
and
was
I also
way
got, like,
too confident.
I was too confident because we got down like no problem. But that's like going down was the easy part. I started giving my water away, and then going back up, I was like, I'm struggling. I'm dying. It was just like back to back to back switchbacks in like 120 degrees heat.
I think that's what threw us off during the hike too. I mean, like everybody like warned us too, just like, hey, pack a lot of snacks, a lot of water, because it's you won't feel it, but you'll get dehydrated super duper fast. And we're just like, okay, sure. And we went down there, and we got dehydrated super duper fast.
Yep.
I don't know how Kenny and my brother did it, where they were like, come on, y'all.
You keep that momentum going, you could probably do it. I felt like if I kept the momentum going, I could have kept up with him. But I couldn't leave Patty and them behind. So by the time we get to the end, my legs were screaming. Because I think the only mistake we really made, other than like being water prepared and all that good stuff, was the time. They were like, you should get there early. And we was almost there early, but then we stopped because we almost hit a deer. And then we was like, let's watch the sunrise from here. that was a mistake because we got there and the trooper was legit like, yeah, y'all should probably go to the second point. Don't go farther. Yeah, all right. Oh. And then we went down there, and that way back was like, sheesh. Like we legit stopped at, because after a while it feels like you're walking like this. It's like corner,
it's literally just in
corner, and we stopped at every single corner. Like, hold on, like, because we thought we were ahead because it was like it's a 6-hour hike or whatever, and we made it down in like what 2 hours or so. It was like that was nothing.
Yeah,
we had cut this hiking like 4 hours, and then we made it up in 4 hours. So it ended up being a 6-hour hike, but. It's really worth the view though, because it was just like, dang, this is.
It was nice.
Dope. Yeah, it
was so nice, bro. Legit, I didn't think we were gonna finish the hike, honestly, because Patty was terrified of heights, and it took like 30 minutes to go down that first point. Remember?
Yeah.
But she was like just barely like scooting along, and I was just like, oh, Patty, I forgot you're afraid of heights. Oh my god!
I know she was scared of roller coaster, but I didn't think. Which we probably should think is a big ass Grand Canyon. Exactly. But I didn't think she'd be like terrified of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the height is like no joke, because it's like one of those hikes where if you walk off to the side, you're not coming back off the side. Like that's a fall. Like that's not even like a short drop. That's a fall. You're not making it back. Yeah. They have to like helicopter you out.
Yeah, that's why
I was like nearly dead to the point where I thought I might need the helicopter though, for real. Because like Danny said, like my legs gave out. Like I've never had my legs gave out before. Like I've always like at least like pull like just power through, like even with the pain and all that shit. But at some point in that hike, my legs could not carry my body weight up. It was just like so done, so tired. Both legs cramped at the same time. Like I didn't even know that shit existed. I've had like one leg cramp, but this one is like both leg cramped. That I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm hitting the floor.
That's what happened towards the end. You know, that last pass, you're like, we're almost there. And I want to push it, but every corner, both legs are just like cramped. I'm like,
yeah, because like, all right, in hiking, switchbacks are like the worst. That's the one where like you go up the side of the mountain and then you just go left and right like this. That's called a switchback. And like literally, like in Grand Canyon, that's the finisher. Like it's like 2 of those back to back. After like doing incline or whatever, all up the ridge part, it was like, yo, this shit sucked with that heat. And then there was like mules along the way, but like the rangers are like,
those
nah,
mules were a false sense of hope. We were like,
yeah,
hey,
they're like,
yo,
you
can y'all
gotta
pick
pay
us up? And it's just like, nah, y'all had to sign up for this down there. And they just kept going. We're like, how much is it, bro? I pay right now.
Bro, there was like literally empty mules or empty donkeys, but they're like, nah, you can't get on, dog.
We was legit ready to pay for a mule right there. And just, no matter the cost, because we were dead to make it back up there. But they hit us with a no, and we made it. And it ended up being a good time.
Yeah, good time. Whatever we ate after. Wait, didn't we go eat pho after that?
Yeah, we ate pho right afterwards.
Disappointed.
Yeah, it was a really disappointing.
I think so.
Yeah, because as soon as we got to the top, everybody like took the little small break, and then they you went around the little shopping area, the gift shops and all that stuff, and then everybody's like, yo, we have like a couple of hours left before I think like Tang and Tam's car was like up, the rental time was up or something. So we had to like beeline all the way straight back for like pho, and like halfway through pho, we had to like go and return the car anyway.
Oh yeah, we did. We got pho, and it was so whack.
Yeah, it was.
Then terrible. We got Thai food next door to take home, and it was whack. And we was like, whoa.
Yeah, honestly though, I'm sorry, Arizona, but Arizona was just all right. It was like the most.
The food wise, the food was so bland.
Well, that reminds me of the bland Thai food we had in Japan. We decided to try something different because we got tired of Japanese food. We went to this Thai place, and it was like, okay, some pad Thai shit look good. We ate it at the rooftop, and I was just like, this is bland as heck.
Like, they ain't got no sriracha, bro.
Wait, when was this? I didn't remember going to a Thai place.
You went somewhere else.
Yeah, it was when we got back to our hostel, the one that had the laundromat across the street, and the door next to it was like a Thai place and another place. And me and Teresa went to the Thai place and came back. And then around the corner was also that place that sold like the bowls or whatever.
Yeah, you remember we had sake at the top.
Yeah, I remember I got the rice and curry at the top.
Yeah, and we went to the roof, and that Thai was like, bro.
Yeah, that's the one where Aunt tongue dipped that sake.
He tongued the crap out of that sake bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go last?
Nah, then yeah. That man hyped himself up for 3 weeks. He was like, I'm finally gonna drink alcohol, guys. And Ant is like 28, almost 30.
He was
go start a family or something, bro.
Don't tell the man his age.
I don't know Ant's age, but yeah, he was like, I'm finally gonna get sake. I'm gonna drink sake with all my friends in Japan on the rooftop and stuff. And then we got like what, a bottle? I think maybe 2 bottles. Yeah, but I remember like a bottle.
Big.
Yeah. And he bought it too. And he was like, I'm about to do it. And then he didn't want to do it, so we all drank a bit. And then at the end, he was just kind of like, like
and then he made a nasty face like he drunk so much. I'm like, oh, really? Where's our bottle bag?
She just like literally tipped it over, dip a little his tongue into like the little sake, hated it, and then he's like, nah, I'm good.
That's why I wanted to do the return, because I was actually in the return looking forward to seeing that red light district, because Jack and Long wanted to go to the red light district, and that would have been something we didn't do the first time.
That would be pretty dope.
I was looking forward to actually seeing their little nightlife out there, and plus spend more time in Kyoto or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up too. Kyoto was that one city where I went to Japan mostly for Tokyo. Osaka surprised me because I actually really liked Osaka, but like Kyoto is where I was like, yo, I love this place. Like the vibe is different. It's more traditional. Like it's what you would think when you do think of like Japan. Like everything is like people walk around with like traditional kimonos, yukatas, and all that stuff. You have like alleyways of like old school like Japanese architectures, but they're like bars and like small little cafes and shops and steakhouses, and
that was so awesome.
I really love that. I really love Kyoto, and it's sad because we only had like a day there.
Yeah, and they even had like that anime bridge where like when you're sitting on the side and it's like where you see like in all the animes they go under the bridge to throw rocks or something, where it got the little river going through and two sides of people running. I was like, yo,
that was nice.
We out here in these real anime streets, bro. This is dope. It was super dope.
Also, my big mistake for sure was I kind of used, like, I wanted to visit Japan in the longest, but I hyped myself up for like the past, like before that, for like 3 weeks on all the different shopping trips I wanted to take. I want to go to this store. I'm gonna pick up some like One Piece stuff. I'm gonna pick up some Dragon Ball Z stuff. My stuff was overweight.
Yeah,
I bought so much stuff.
Yeah,
it was a mistake.
but those stores are super
extra,
nice,
right?
though. It was super dope going
Nice.
to like, it was super dope going to like the One Piece store, because that's when that One Piece movie's gonna come out, and you got big ass Luffy's everywhere, and like the Pokemon centers were super cool.
That was pretty cool.
Like the Pokemon centers are like different in each spot, so we was like, let's go see them all. But they all had that one super catchy song that we couldn't get back in the States, and we went to so many that you just walk in and start singing it.
That was the theme song for our Japan trip.
The song was so casual, and I was just like,
it's really it was like a really happy song. It's like, damn, you listen to it, you're like, it's kind of nostalgic too.
Yeah, I went back to the hostel and pulled it up and listened to it on YouTube and stuff. I'm like, bro, this song dope.
I still have the song too.
You do?
Yeah, I do have the song. It's on YouTube.
What? Because I tried to I saved a video there to my like sources so I can have it for later. Then I got back to the States. It's like, you can't play this. I was like,
no, I have the video. I should have the video.
It was that one with the lady with like the little puppet walking stuff.
Yeah.
It was super dope.
I have YouTube,
like that
so I
song.
downloaded the video.
I liked it.
It was super nice.
It was nice.
Yeah, what are some places y'all looking forward to going? Because for me, outside of like international travel, since that's gonna be a while, I had like other interstate plans for this year. I was supposed to go to Michigan for a reason, but I really was planning to go to like Seattle that Vin went to. I wanted to go
Seattle's fucking amazing.
Like what is it? Is it Maine, Portland, that area with the good seafood and of course Hawaii. I even wanted to go back to LA. Like E3 was really cool to go to that one time we went. Like
that was fun. I didn't expect E3 to be that fun. Kind of.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes,
it was LineCon.
It was.
It's still the best con that I've been to, even though it's less of a like. It's less like an anime con. It's more of like a businessy type of thing, but it was still cool though. Like people were still setting up like giant booths and like showing off products and letting
people in the Nintendo booth piss me off. Fucking like ran over there, just like, let me get in line to play like Mario.
But that con did show me how much better Nintendo just be doing things. Like Nintendo had you walk into an entire city. Like at these cons, Nintendo be showing everybody up. You walk into Nintendo World, they had the entire Mario Odyssey city going on, and like all the games set up in there. It was just super dope. But if you walk into like PlayStation, it's just blue lights. You're like, all right.
Or like Xbox.
Xbox was a trash setup because they had their stuff in an X, which has made everything crowded.
Yeah, they like lining up.
It's a green X and just like, this is stupid, Xbox. Why would you do this? But Nintendo, they just be throwing the money and getting it right. So, but yeah, what are some of the places you guys, I guess, look forward to or recommend to people?
Then you go first.
Well, right now I have next spring, I'm planning on going to Singapore, Indonesia, and Bali. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be like the next major trip. But honestly though, like I just want to go back to Japan again.
Yeah. A
redemption trip. Like whenever that happens, I just want like to go back. I just do the stuff that we couldn't do before. Some more far out stuff would be like I really want to do Machu Picchu and like after the whole Japan stuff is over. So those are like my next big trips. But right now I'm looking forward to Bali. For me,
I do want to try Korea. That sounds dope. I want to go to Korea. And we have once we get the wedding party together, because this push everything back, we're going to try to do a trip where we're supposed to go to Thailand and get fitted for like right there, which would have been fun, and have like the whole party there together. But then I was also like, I wouldn't mind going to Hawaii. So,
Hawaii sounds fun. I even
So
called up Chardin and Austin yesterday. I was like, so when y'all having that Hawaiian wedding?
Until they meet their goal, which is taking forever. Because Austin, he's like he does good, and then
Austin
he eats a lot.
he looks a little slimmer now, man.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, a little bit. He's still round. Austin,
A little flatter.
Yeah, it went from like a cube like this to like a little bit. So he's still round. But what about you, Teresa?
Just like future traveling in general, or like in state. Not in state, in country.
Both?
I guess it was both, since just in general, because I assume things will, I guess, eventually get to a point where we can still travel safely. So I guess in general.
For sure, I do want to go back to New York just to try out all the food places, because I've been to one when I went solo for an interview for dental school, and that place was pretty awesome. And I want to go to Ichiran again.
I kind of want to do.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do New York City at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, as long as New York is like safe, because New York City is a hot spot. So
apparently, right now they're safer than we are. So
yeah, because they actually took that shit seriously.
Because we're in the
because
South.
people were dying.
We're in the
But
South,
yeah,
so you
also,
can't tell us to wear no mask.
Oh, and definitely. And I'm going to Seattle next year too, because Karen's auntie, she's getting married. And like I said, like Seattle is fucking amazing. Like Washington is also like an amazing state. So you guys are down to come with us to Seattle.
That's what I heard. Like a lot of people who've been to Washington, they really love it.
Yes.
And I do that. Seattle was on my list of trips to go. So I don't know about crashing your aunt's wedding.
Oh, no.
Or
yeah, it's like I would go at the same time, get another spot, and then after the wedding, you guys can meet up with us or something.
I don't know. I like for us to go together. That's what I meant. Because I know we can't really go to the wedding because we don't know her.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I mean, we wouldn't know her. It'd just be awkward for us to show up for a
it'd be
wedding.
Weird.
Like I still would like to go to Seattle, and then like that one day you guys go to the wedding, and we still have like other people to go do other things.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just because like it's gonna be more for like Seattle and Washington rather than the wedding. Because I mean, like wedding is cool enough, but I just miss Seattle. It's a very amazing city, and I was actually thinking about moving to Seattle too.
We should also do Utah, because that was one of the, I think when we chose Arizona, our options was like Utah or
Colorado.
Yeah, or Arizona.
Oh,
I forgot what it was. We had two options and we chose Arizona. So it probably wasn't Colorado, because we would have probably chose Colorado over Arizona.
True.
I think we chose Utah.
But Utah was like, it's high on the list.
I want to see the stars. Utah got some stars.
I'm always down to go to Utah. Yeah. I'm just down to go to anywhere. Honestly.
Pretty much.
I'm surprised we haven't done a Vegas trip yet.
Well, you're right. We haven't had like a
I don't know.
Vegas seems like a place I wouldn't want to spend a whole week or anything at. That I hit for like a weekend and be like, nah, that's cool. And then come back and be completely fine for good. Well, before we get out of here, what are some of y'all top-notch travel tips? Yeah, because we've been there for like, I think like an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more.
Really?
And we didn't even get to talk about the Vietnam trip. That's that big trip.
Which one? The last one?
Yeah.
The one where you got sick after drinking that coffee?
All right. We can go a little longer. We can go into this Vietnam trip.
The Vietnam trip was kind of like that a
lot happened. And
that
it was
like a lot. It was still fun though.
It was like a cultivation of like all of our experiences into like one trip. Because remember we did Vietnam for only 1 week before Japan, and it ended up being like a really memorable part of the trip. Mm-hmm. So second time we're like, yo, let's go back to Vietnam. And this time just make it a Vietnam trip. And then this time we're gonna hit up Hanoi because like, a lot of the part of the group is like from Vietnam, Vietnamese, but most of us, or if not, I think all of us have not been to North Vietnam yet. So like on the way up to the trip is just like our parents is like, Hanoi is just gonna be this.
They're gonna shank you in the
scary
streets.
place. Like people stab you, people rob you. You're gonna get scammed. They'll cut your arm off for your jewelry, like mid, like like
riding
on the
your
Mid
boat.
riding,
moped.
they just
Yeah,
come
mid
by.
moped. I was like, yo, they
Like,
were,
You know, like in my head, I pictured a lot worse than what it was. I pictured
yeah.
dudes just riding around with machetes on their bikes.
Then you
So
go to
you just
Hanoi, and
pull
it's
up
like
like,
it's like a lovely ass city. Like there's a lot of like traditional temples there. There's like the old, like I think like the first school that Vietnam had, or the first college. And then there's a lot of trees around. It's a lot more natural than when you go to Saigon, because Saigon is literally like
It's a
a
city.
concrete steel city. Like it's
that's
like a
why
city
it was
city.
super dope because it was just two completely different vibes, but people were still nice. The people were still the same, but the vibes of the areas were different. Like you said, up north they had that natural city built in. It was like nature everywhere, but you know, city built around. They still out here in the mopeds, but you can go on. Like they had that whole like strip of food places on the railroad tracks, and that was pretty dope.
I wish we went back to look around that.
Yeah, because when we were leaving on the train, like we looked out and it had like a whole festival of stuff going on out there, and I was like, man, that looks fun.
I've never seen so many mopeds
Yeah,
in my life. That was a
I
lot.
guess that was like a case of us just cramming more, like a lot of stuff into our schedule.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. We
like, we
made the
blasted through,
Japan
like, 4
mistake
cities.
twice. We made that Japan mistake. Like we went to Japan and overbooked. It was like, dang, we should have took a step back.
But yeah.
But then our next trip we made the exact same mistake. It was like, if we do this and just stay one night, then we can make it to that, and then this, and it was still fun, but I think it took away from like some of the experiences, like Ha Long Bay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time, but then we were there like, I'm tired.
Yeah. I think honestly we went on a bad day too. If we went on a better day, it might have been better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might have.
But it was still a cool experience riding out into the bay, having dinner on the boat. And the chef was like, he was doing his work in the cooking streets, and it was still a cool experience. That's why I recommend people get out there, go visit Vietnam.
I still have that video of him, Vin, my brother, and Fee dying in the water.
No, I was actually gonna die in the water. They have floaties. I was like, yo, I'm about to drown. I'm panicking.
Bro, you made it though. You made it like a mermaid. You are. You're just like,
bro, more like a manatee. That shit was scary as fuck. I was like, yo, what? I turned around. I was like, why is Fee and Jackie cramped in the middle of the water?
I didn't know how they were dying with a life vest on. I'm like, y'all
like,
just float. Just float. Y'all good.
Out here doing all the work.
I think let's see. Sapa was probably the best part of that trip. I just really love like just the general location.
Yeah.
Like we were in the mountains, pretty much on the border of China. Just just meeting all of like the locals, all of the indigenous tribes people. It was really fun. Like I'm from Vietnam, but even I didn't know like that part of like the Vietnamese culture or geography.
That's why I was upset with the stomach virus, because it like Sapa was like just super modest, just chilling. We were gonna go and pick rice and all that. I was actually looking forward to that because that's a super switch up. But then I was out of commission the whole time in Sapa because I caught that stomach virus from drinking that the egg coffee. Because I drank everyone else took a sip of the egg coffee and was like, all right. But I was like, I'm not going to waste this money.
You're too polite.
I don't want to waste this. So I drank the whole thing and I got hit with the stomach virus. That just took me out of.
No. For like 3 days or something.
I mean, like everybody kind of took turns just being sick as hell. Because Danny was first. He opened it up. I think Fee got sick next. Then it was like Teresa, then Jackie, and then me. I got it bad at the end. Like I spent half the trip like I just did not want to eat. I didn't want to like do anything. My stomach was like destroying itself. But it was still a memorable trip.
The weird thing, like it felt like 3 days. It's just because the days were so damn long there. It was only like a day and a half that I was like. The first day I was sick, but it felt like 2 days because I had to take a moped all the way around. Fell asleep, woke up, and then they finally arrived from the hike dead, and that was still like afternoon. It was like, damn, this is a long ass day.
I think like Japan and Vietnam it just felt really long. Like one day just felt like 2 days just mashed together because everybody starts off really early. Like
Yeah.
I think that's good though. You don't want to waste half your
I
vacation
do like
sleeping
that.
in.
Because you can get
like
up, go do stuff,
us
get a
Americans,
rest in, and
it's
still go
terrible.
do more stuff, and you still got the day.
You see how like so many people our age is like I woke up at like 1 or 2 p.m. and I'm like, like sleeping in just feels so good, but I think starting at 6 or 7 a.m. you just feel like you have a more productive day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Plus,
get so much more done.
Yep. And over there, you're guaranteed like the breakfast. You wake up if everyone's feeds you, so you're like you wake up, you get your energy, and it's just like we can do something. It's like also after Halong, what was the place we went after Halong Bay? I really like that Ninh
We
Binh.
went to Ninh Binh before Halong Bay, I think, or was it
No,
after?
after.
It was after.
So we went to
Was after?
Halong first, and
Yeah.
that took Jackie out of commission. And then we went.
Oh yeah, he was sick.
Then we went to Ninh Binh, and that was actually really enjoyable. Our like guys were super cool and funny, and Ninh Binh was super nice. And I was like,
Yeah.
man.
I think Ninh Binh was like the biggest surprise for me because I knew Sapa was gonna be like great. I knew Hanoi was gonna be great. I didn't trust my parents too much on how scary it was because I mean like it could have been any worse than Saigon. Saigon is like crime ridden.
I mean, they both the North and the South say the same about each other.
Yeah.
It's not unfounded that you'll get your junk jacked and stuff like that, but it's not like a terror story.
Yeah.
Not as extreme as they made it because even like you said, even when we asked them up north, like, what do y'all think about the people in Saigon? They're like, oh, I heard it's really bad down there.
Yeah, I was like, it's crazy.
I think someone said they just like cut you up in the street or something, John.
You're like,
I was like, what? No.
like,
like, damn, everyone's scared. Like,
yeah, but Ninh Binh was surprisingly like a big highlight of the trip. Like I thought my highlight was gonna be Halong Bay because that was one of my bucket list places. I'm like, yo, Halong Bay, like that shit is one of the major like wonders of the world. It's not like the 7 wonders of the world, but it's like one of the places that every traveler is like, you got to go to Halong Bay. You got to go Halong Bay. They're like, the place is beautiful, but it does wear down on you. Like after a while, it's kind of like, it's whatever. We can start heading home. But Ninh Binh was like, that shit was just nice all around. Like the going on the little canoes or the kayaks, like down to where they shot Skull Island or going up like those temples and stuff. I'm like, yo, this place is actually really, really beautiful.
Yep. And then the little dinner we had on the way there, at the table. That's what I like the most, the dinners. I was upset
like the food.
That the whole time, like we only got that what would I call it? We only got that like nice street food breakfast at one time when me and Vin went. Because last time your uncle would take us like every day, and we went to got like that steak breakfast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then that one day where you and Jackie was with family, me and Vin went to like the street vendor on the corner, and I was like, see, this is what I wanted. And it's just like
right
sitting there eating like the steak and eggs with the little sausage and the rice. I was like, yes, this is it.
It was like a family-owned, like literally just side of the street type of business. Like because like in Vietnam, all of the homes are like in alleyways and stuff, and it was literally just like another family in the same alleyway. It's like, yeah, we just serve breakfast. And they have like the little like super cheap $5 plastic chair and tables just set up outside, and they just make some steak and eggs, and it's like, yo, this shit hit.
This shit hit.
That's
and it was only like $3.
But next time we go to Vietnam, we can just at least we know now. So when we go, we can really just like travel, like explore around the city and stuff like that. Because like I think this time we only overbooked ourselves because we're just like, bro, Hanoi's gonna be real scary, let's do all these tours to make sure we're safe.
Oh yeah, we did. We was like, let's get into Hanoi, do these things so we're out of there in 3 days and not sitting in there. Yeah, you're right. We did schedule like that because they put fear in us. So we're trying to spend as least amount of time in Hanoi as possible. But
that's all right. We know now. So
yeah.
You go, you learn, and we know it's fun.
We'll be back in Vietnam for sure. We got family
for
over
sure.
there.
Plus, keep a lookout on for Da Nang. I'm telling you, that's gonna be a top-notch vacation spot. That was like prime time Florida, but not being in Florida for way more affordable prices. It was super nice.
And then they already started like on a rail line in Saigon or whatever. I can't wait till that gets developed. Then you can take the train everywhere instead of like, getting a little car or whatever.
I want to see. I want to see how it was gonna look later because from this time, from last time, it seemed different, and now they got all this development they're doing before we go back. I'm like, I'll be back. We'll be back for sure.
Oh yeah.
But all this COVID really do make you miss traveling.
Yeah.
I think we needed some step back anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, time to stay home. It did, like, no lie, this did help, like, get into other fields because instead of running around everywhere, you're stuck at home. I think we stayed home from work for like 3 weeks, and that allowed, it was like, all right, since I'm here, I redid house stuff, started finally, instead of just talking about starting the YouTube, started the YouTube, because I luckily I ordered my camera right before it hit, and then, you know, it was like, man, we here, might as well do. And so the step back allowed for a lot, and now next time we travel, we're going to really appreciate it because I'm like,
yes.
But I guess we've been here quite long enough. So thank you guys for kicking it with Daddy. Wait, y'all want to plug anything? I don't got that many viewers, but you know, you can still plug out here. Let's start with Teresa. You want to plug something?
Follow Danny.
Okay.
Like and share, support his video.
I'm on the other side of my video.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm on your other side.
Oh,
there we go. Hey, that's a good plug. What about you, Vin? Also, Vin's a game dev, so keep a lookout for his Story of Legends. I put his Twitter.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Don't give spoilers, Vin.
It's not a spoilers.
Yes, it is. Stop covering.
All right, but yeah, you could just follow my Twitter. It's SkyArtXV, and you could just see like what I'm up to. I usually post like updates every day or every other day. But yeah, that's all. That's really all I wanted to plug. I just really missed traveling. Wanted to talk about traveling for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this was cool because we haven't seen each other like
for a while.
In a while, like our friend group's just been chilling, so it was cool to get in here and just chit chat it up. So, but I do gotta sign out because it's gonna be a really long video, and I'm gonna have to be chopping it up, a lot of edit. But thank you guys for kicking it with Danny again, and until next time, I'll see you. I don't have an outro yet, so I'll see you.
That's fine.
She